Now, for those of you that are new to the channel and those of you that aren't, this is my first video in a long time. So bear with me, I'm trying to get back in the role of uploading these. So it might look a little rusty at the start, but trust me, few videos in, we'll be really steaming ahead. But ayo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10, and what I got for you today is some NBA 2K25. I will not be saying next gen because the PS5 has been out for so long that low-key, it makes no sense. But as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, and what's on the screen for you today, the build happens to be the best Jalen Brunson build in NBA 2K25. And ironically, people love to nickname him the Brunson Burner, which is kind of corny in my opinion, but hey, it suits fit because if you've been watching the NBA playoffs, you would have seen him and the New York Knicks go to 7 against the Pistons, and you would have seen him pull off some impeccable feats, as well as seeing Karl Anthony Towns really develop that dog in him from moving to New York. Now, as most of you know, Jalen Brunson is left-handed and does wear the jersey number 11 for the New York Knicks. You don't necessarily need to go with this handedness or jersey number to make the build. It's just to make it as close to Jalen as we can. We are going to try and keep it with the things we do know about him. Next things we know are he is the starting point guard. Ironically, he has been listed as shooting guard before, mainly when he was playing in Dallas with Luka. And he does come in at a height of 6'2", while weighing about 190 pounds with a registered wingspan of about 6'4". This obviously does mean for those of you who aren't too into 2K, you won't be that great of a defender beyond the perimeter. And even at the perimeter, you'll be a bit of a bad defender no matter how good your attributes are, just because of how undersized you are at the position. Now, before we get into the skill breakdown for this build, I do gotta say thank you for all the support you've been showing to the channel. I don't know how or why, but in my absence, we've somehow got new subscribers. So if you're new here, welcome. Happy to see you. And for those of you that have stuck around through and through, thank you for staying through. But I gotta say, if you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, just like it's doing down below, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn post notifications on. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more content like this, then do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. As it is our first video back, and I'm assuming this will only ever be seen by 5 people, let's aim for 5 likes. That's the most we need in order to make the next build. And then also down below in the comment section, let me know any possible builds you may want to see, as well as any videos you may want to see, because creativity wise, I need to do a lot better, and there's a few things that I think I might want to bring out in the pipeline. But hey, I'm gonna need you guys' opinions before publishing them out, because otherwise, yeah, leave it to me, we'll be watching a whole lot of garbage. But starting with any Jalen Brunson build, the first thing you want to go to is the driving layup, where I decided to go firstly with the 90, paired up with the fact that I also decided to give him a strength of about a 67. Key reason behind this being I wanted to get physical finisher as high as I possibly could. If you watched him play throughout the playoffs or the regular season, you will know he has a knack for attacking the rim, and when he does, he's not the most vertically or laterally gifted person. Like, athleticism wise, Jalen Brunson's not one of the nicest people out there. I would say he's just barely below an average NBA player when it comes to athleticism. However, when it does come to finishing, he does use the fact that even though he is undersized when it comes to height, he is slightly oversized when it comes to weight. So he throws his weight around in order to create a little bit of space and get his shot off, as well as getting gold float game on this build, because as you can see, it improves a player's ability to make floaters, which are they're a real key part of his game. He loves that left-handed floater. Now, driving dunk wise, this was more personally because of what I wanted versus what he really does. I decided to give him a 73 when it comes to the driving dunk, paired up with a 65 when it comes to the vertical, because this, of course, does mean that you managed to get bronze posterizer. This was more just for the emphasis of when you're on a fast break, you don't always want to go with a layup, or at least when you beat someone, you don't always want to go with a layup, just because in 2K, with how short you are, it has a tendency of setting you up in animations where a taller player basically blocks your shot even though you're well ahead. Now, the only funny thing to knock about this is you do also get bronze aerial wizard. I do not insist you try and throw a lob to this build, but hey, it's up to you. If you want to, you can, because either way, he'll just try and finish it with a layup if he can't really dunk it home. Now, the last thing we mess with in the finishing side of things happens to be the close shot. This is mainly tied up to how we set up the mid-range jump shot, but due to how high we put the midi, this does go all the way up to a 79. As you can see, badge-wise, that has no effect, as we already have float game at gold. And as we were discussing shooting, mid-range jump shot wise, we decided to go with a 94 just because this basically allows us to get, all of the badges at gold when it comes to shooting. As you can see, we get gold dead-eye, gold mini marksman, which is suitable for Jalen Brunson, Hall of Fame set shot specialist. This I think might be a bit too high for his game, but hey, we're happy to go with it. And then of course, when it comes to shifty shooter, even though it says bronze right now, we messed with the agility and put this up to about an 80. That does mean we get shifty shooter at gold as promised. Now, 3-point shooting wise, I wouldn't say Jalen, he's he's somewhere around average. If anything, he's barely above average. That's the best thing I'd give, because he's not along the lines of someone like Damian Lillard or Steph, where you expect them to drop hella threes in the game at an efficient clip, but he's not somewhere down below where he's shooting like Jalen Green. So for that reason and that reason, we decided to go with an 89 when it comes to the three-point jump shot. Again, this was also due to the fact that with the attribute points being the way they were, we had a lot of attribute points to spare due to this build not being a two-way, so we were able to get ourselves silver limitless range tied up in this build as well, which does mean you can spread the floor. Especially with being such a short guard, you want to be able to draw people out as far as you can, because it does also mean it gives you ability for driving lanes, because it'll be hard for them to basically keep up with you. Free throw wise, decided to give this build a 78, mainly tied up to the fact that I started at 75, then with the few attribute points I had left, I managed to get this up to a 78. And then just to round it up, let's get through the physicals. I decided to go with an 85 when it came to the speed, because again, wanted the build to be a little bit fast and also wanted to get that goal slippery off ball. Key reason being, when you're off the ball, you really want to have the ability to swerve, weave through defenders, and basically find yourself to an open spot, especially with Hall of Fame set shot specialist. And then the only other thing when it comes to physicals was everything else is tied up as is from the other attributes. Ball handling wise, we decided to go with a 93, which does mean that we get gold, ankle assassin, handles for days, and unpluckable. Unfortunately, we were never going to be able to get gold strong handle, just because for that alone, we would have needed to increase his weight significantly, just so he'd be able to get that 73 strength in order to get it. And then when it came to the speed with ball, decided to give this all the way up to about an 86, because it means we get that gold lightning launch. And then pass accuracy wise, decided to give him an 85. Again, these are slight overstatements when it comes to pass accuracy. I don't believe he's one of the high pass IQ guards in the league. I mean, he can move the ball around, but I wouldn't necessarily say he deserves to be in the high 15th percentile of NBA players, which is what I'm seeing by the whole 85 out of 100. But hey, with the spare points we did have, we were able to put it there. Now, defensively, as I said, Jalen Brunson is not known as the best two-way player in the world, but he does move his feet on defense, so we decided to give him firstly an 82 on the perimeter defense, because with the speed pair up that we have in the agility, this does mean that you get silver challenger, gold off-ball pest, bronze pick dodger, and bronze on-ball menace. If you really wanted to, you could boost them up slightly and get them both at silver, but I decided to leave them both at bronze. And then when it came to the steal, decided to put this all the way up to about a 79, as if I quickly just reduced these back down as they went up due to the fact of how I was tweaking the perimeter defense. But I put these up to a 79 because it does mean you get that silver glove and silver interceptor combo, which of course is necessary, especially when you're a guard playing the perimeter. And with it being a 6'2 guard, you'll never find yourself in the paint too often. And more likely than not, with any team you're running, you'll be sitting in the zone, in which case you will want to have a high enough interceptor that it's kind of stupid to try and throw a pass past you. Now, as you can see, this is how the attributes on the build line up in the end. We end up with a high shooting, high finishing, high ball handling build with a really decent amount of physical attributes. And then, of course, defensively, it's not a slouch. The only thing I would say is if you are going to use the build, make sure you know how to create jump shots off the dribble. And secondly, when it comes to defense, bump people early at the perimeter. If anything, pick people up from half court. That way, at least, they don't try and burn you and expose how bad your defense technically could be. And then when it comes to steals, just try and play the passing lanes. I wouldn't try and pick pockets too often, but hey, that's up to you. Now, as you can see, for the shades of, we do manage to get Damian Lillard, Kemba Walker, and Trae Young, which all three, it does make sense with the high. I mean, Dame's the only one actually that it might not make sense because he should have a higher driving dunk than this. But the name of the build happens to be a shot-creating 3-level threat, which makes a lot of sense. I'm just kind of upset that we didn't get Jalen Brunson in here, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm assuming it's mainly because of how high we put the mid-range jump shot and the three-point shooting. Because yeah, as I said, Jalen Brunson is a somewhere around average shooter, whereas these three here are known for being, when they shoot, they shoot. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video back for the first time in a long time. If you did, don't forget to do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button down below. We are aiming for only 5 likes. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn post notifications on. And hopefully I'll be back with another video before the end of the week. Let me know what other builds you might want to see, as well as any other possible videos you might want to see. Because hey, I'm fully prepared to drop a few more mixtapes, because as I've said, even though I haven't been uploading 2K, I have been playing it in the background, and I've been dropping some people off. But anyway, it's been your boy Alvin the MB10, aka AMR10. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces.